Warm welcome, dear children, back again to the class of biology. In the previous class, we talked about kingdom fungi, right? So we will continue with kingdom fungi in this class also. And a quick recap of what we talked about. We basically discussed the general characteristics of kingdom fungi, in which we discussed that fungi are achlorophyllous. That means they do not have chlorophyll. They are eukaryotic. Then we discussed that they are heterotrophic, right? Since they are achlorophyllous, so they are heterotrophic. That means they cannot manufacture their own food and they are dependent on other sources for food. They are parasitic under heterotrophic, deriving nutrition from living host, and then some of them are saprophytic as well, right? So saprophytic means deriving nutrition from dead or decaying host. Then we said that fungi are unicellular as well as multicellular. Under unicellular, we discussed about yeast as being an example, and then the rest are multicellular organisms, fungi that belong to this kingdom. Other than that, we talked about uh, fungi being non-vascular, and then we discussed that the cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin of fungal cellulose. And what is the composition of chitin? It is N-acetyl glucosamine, right? Then we discussed that a spore, they are spore forming organisms, and the spore gives rise to a hypha. Further, when many hyphae are formed together, the network of that hyphae is called mycelium, right? Then we discussed that the mycelium can be septate or aseptate. So if it is aseptate, there are many nuclei present in that, in the cytoplasm. So we say that it is sinusotic, and then if it is septate, then of course a single nuclei in each division are present, right? Septate means it is cross-wall. Then we talked about the reproduction, right, in which we discussed that they reproduce asexually, vegetatively, and sexually also, right? So under vegetative method of reproduction, we talked about fragmentation, budding, we talked about fission, sclerotia, and rhizomorph. And under asexual reproduction, we discussed that asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of spores. So we had discussed a few types of spores, and we discussed about some spores which are non-motile, like Conidia, and there are some spores which are motile, like the zoospores, right? And then we discussed about the sexual reproduction, in which we talked about the coming together of the two strains, fusing of the plasma, the protoplasm, that is called plasmogamy, followed by a delayed next step. So in between is a dikaryon stage where there are two nuclei present, and then when the nuclei fuse, that is karyogamy takes place, and further a diploid cell is formed, that is the zygote, which undergoes meiosis. Why does it undergo meiosis? Because fungi are haplontic, having half the number of chromosomes. They are haplontic. So meiosis has to take place for the haploid stage, right? And then we talked about the basis of classification in fungi, kingdom fungi. They're classified based on three characteristics, that is spore formation, fruiting body, and the mycelium, right? These are the three characteristic features on which the classification of fungi depend. And we also talked about lichens and mycorrhiza. Lichen is these two, lichen and mycorrhiza, are an example of mutualism, right? Under mutualism, we talk about symbiotic relationship, in which lichens are a symbiotic relationship between an algae and a fungi, right? So algae provides food, fungi provides shelter, anchorage, water, and minerals, right? So they do not harm each other, and they mutually benefit each other. And I told you that when if you look at a lichen, you won't be able to make out which part of the lichen is an algae and which part is the fungal part, right? Then mycorrhiza, in which we we said that fungi form a symbiotic relationship with the roots of higher plants, right? So the fungus, it can be mycorrhiza or endomycorrhiza. In ecto part, the bulk of the fungi is on the outer part of the root of the higher plant, and little part of the fungus is inside the root in the cortex of the root, right? That is ecto. In the endomycorrhiza, most of the fungi, the bulk of the fungi is in the cortex part of the root, whereas little of it is found on the outer part, right? And the fungus gets shelter and food from the roots of this association, and the roots, they get minerals and water, of course, and then there are some we can say characteristics present in the fungus which helps in the growth, right? As well as an antimicrobial substance is also present which protects the fungus from pathogenic attack, right? So the fungal hyphae provides what we can say is water and minerals, and of course a growth substance is there which helps in the growth, and an antimicrobial substance is also present, right? So that was what we studied in the previous class. And then again, we talked about the basis of classification, three bases: mycelium, the structure of the mycelium, spore formation, and fruiting body, right? Fruiting body also we talked about, that is the fungal structure. That is the right. So the basis of classification of kingdom fungi is the mycelium, that is the structure of the mycelium, then the spore formation, and the fruiting body. And the fruiting body we had discussed in the previous class, that is the structure of the fungus, right? And now we come to the classification, and we see that kingdom fungi is divided into Phycomycetes, right? The next is Ascomycetes. Then comes Basidiomycetes. And the last one is Deuteromycetes. Right? So there are four categories under which kingdom fungi is divided. So that is Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes, and Deuteromycetes. So we will start with the first class, that is the first category, and the first category is Phycomycetes. Right, so we start with the first category of kingdom fungi, that is Phycomycetes. So let's see what are the characteristics of Phycomycetes, right? Phycomycetes are also known as algal fungi, right? Algal fungi. That means from the name, it means that it has some relationship with the algae, right? So that is why they are known as algal fungi. And why they are known as algal fungi? Because morphologically, outward appearance, in that they resemble algae, right? How in outward appearance? Because of the thalloid body that they have. Thallus-like. What is a thallus? Without any differentiation in the body. That means the body is not differentiated into leaves, roots, etc. All these parts, right? So a non-differentiated body is known as the thallus, and this is how it resembles the algae, and that is why it is known as algal fungi. Now this Phycomycetes is the most primitive group of fungi, right? So it is the most primitive group of fungi, and it resembles the algae. And it also says, we also study that from the name. Now if you look at the name Phyco, the word Phyco means algae, and mycetes is fungi, and that is why they are called Phycomycetes or algal fungi. Basically, these most of these Ascomycetes, they are aquatic in their habitat. So mostly they are aquatic, right? So mostly aquatic, resembling algae, that is the thallus-like structure of the algae. Then we come to the mycelium, right? If you remember, the basis of classification is mycelium. And so the mycelium that is present in Phycomycetes is aseptate. Aseptate means without any cross walls. So if I draw a spore over here and I draw a hypha, right? So many hypha together forms a mycelium. Right now, this is a regular mycelium with no cross walls. So aseptate. So the mycelium is aseptate and it is also cenocytic, multinucleate, right? So cenocytic, right? So what have we done about Phycomycetes? They resemble algae. That is why they are called algal fungi. They are most primitive group of fungi, and they are mostly aquatic. The mycelium is aseptate and it is cenocytic, which means there are many nuclei present. We come to the mode of reproduction, and in the mode of reproduction we see the asexual reproduction. It takes place through zoospores and aplanospores, right? So asexual reproduction takes place through zoospores, which are motile, and aplanospores, which are non-motile, right? So asexual reproduction takes place through these spores, and it takes place inside the sporangia, right? So that is again one characteristic feature, that it takes place inside the sporangia. So if I draw a sporangia, it is something like this with the spores, right? Now if we look at the spores, we find that the spores are inside the sporangium. So it is, the spores are endogenous. Endogenous means it is inside the structure. So zoospores and aplanospores, these are the spores through which asexual reproduction takes place, right? And if we come to the sexual reproduction, then the sexual reproduction is through sexual reproduction, isogamous and isogamous and oogamous, right? What did we discuss about isogamous? That identical spores, right? And isogamous, they were not identical, right? So one was like this and one was with a flagellum, right? Oogamous, in which we discussed that the male spore was motile and small, and the female spore was larger in size and without the flagellum, right? So that is about the sexual mode of reproduction. And then we also get to see that there are varied forms of Phycomycetes. That means they constitute a diversified assemblage of individuals, right? Many different types of structures you will see, or types you will see in Phycomycetes, and they range from microscopic cells to large and conspicuous organisms also, right? They are large, conspicuous, they may be filamentous, they may be branched. Like for example, an example of this is the bread mold, right? I had shown you a bread. So in the previous class, I showed you the bread mold. So that is the example of Phycomycetes, one of the examples of Phycomycetes. Now it is also said that algae are Phycomycetes are degenerate algae. Degenerate algae means it does not contain chlorophyll, and so it cannot manufacture its own food. So a quick recap of Phycomycetes. They're called algal fungi. They're the most primitive group of fungi. They're mostly aquatic. The mycelium is aseptate, and cenocytic means multinucleate. Asexually, they reproduce to zoospores, which are motile, and ephranospores, which are non-motile. Right? These spores are produced in the sporangium, inside the sporangium, so they are endogenous. Sexually, they reproduce through isogamy, anisogamy, and ogamy. Right? So isogamous, I told you, where the spores are identical, and isogamous, where they are non-identical, and oogamous, where the male spore is small and has a flagellum, and the female spore is large and without a flagellum. Right? So that's about Phycomycetes, and now we move on to the next group of kingdom fungi, which is Ascomycetes. Right? So the next group that we will study is Ascomycetes. Right? Now, these Ascomycetes are also known as sac fungi. Why sac fungi? Because they are produced, the spores are produced in sac-like structures. Right? Why? Because the spores are produced in sac-like structures. Right? That is why they are known as sac fungi. Right? Then we see that in this category, there are unicellular as well as multicellular organisms present. And when we say unicellular, one unicellular fungi that we talked about is yeast, right? So yeast is the example of this group, unicellular yeast, right? So yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Right, that is the scientific name. And what is the economic importance of yeast? That it is used in the brewery industry, where wines are made, and it is also used in the bakery industry, right, where all the bakery items are made. Right, so that's about the unicellular fungi, that is yeast. Right, now other than that, there are multicellular organisms also, and then reproduction in yeast takes place through budding. Right, so what kind of reproduction is budding? It is a kind of a vegetative reproduction which takes place in yeast. Right, and we've already studied about that. Right, multicellular, there are many forms of multicellular fungi. Penicillium is one. Right, penicillium, which is a multicellular fungi, and the antibiotic penicillin is made out of penicillin, and this was first of all made, and the name penicillin was given, and the antibiotic found was by Alexander Fleming. Right, he was the scientist who had made this penicillin antibiotic from penicillin. Right, so that's about the multicellular um, multicellular Ascomycetes. So we've talked about unicellular yeast and multicellular. The penicillium as one example, right? Then again, we find that these Ascomycetes are parasitic, right? We know they are heterotrophic, so they are parasitic as well as saprophytic. When we say parasitic, we mean that the fungi derives its nutrition from living host. When we say saprophytic, means it derives its nutrition from dead and decaying host. Right? Also, we find that this group of fungi are coprophilous also. Coprophilous. Now, what does this mean? Coprophilous means these fungi are also found on dung. right? So they derive their nutrition from dung. What is dung? Feces of cows and buffaloes. That is dung, right? So coprophilous, some of them are coprophilous also. Now we come to the next characteristic feature, the basis of which the division takes place is the mycelium, right? Quite different from Phycomycetes, the mycelium of Ascomycetes is septate. That means now if I draw a spore and a hyphae, many hyphae form a mycelium, and if it forms cross walls like this, so this is known as a septate mycelium, right? So the mycelium may be is septate and it is also branched. So branched septate, that means many branches also arise. So the mycelium here is branched or septate. Septate means it is cross-walled, right? Not regular. Now in these, the reproduction takes, asexual reproduction is also found and sexual reproduction is also found in this, taking place in this group of fungi. So if we talk about the sexual reproduction, here asexual reproduction, here the asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of conidia, right? So conidiospores are formed. So let's say asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of conidia or conidiospores. Right. So there is a structure which is a conidiophore. Now it is branched. Sorry, it is septate. So this is conidiophore, right? And many conidia are found outside the conidiophore. This is the fruiting body. Here they are found. And so since these conidiospores or conidia are outside, so this is a kind of exogenous spores, right? Not inside the body, but it is found outside. So it is exogenous in origin, right? Now we come to the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction again here takes place by the formation of the fruiting body which is known as ascocarp, right? So let's see here the sexual reproduction by formation of ascocarp. Sexual reproduction. Now, from where we've got this name Ascomycetes, right? So that is through the fruiting body. If you remember, I showed you many fruiting bodies, right? So this is one, and here this is the ascocarp, right? This is the fruiting body ascocarp, right? This sac-like structure is known as ascus, right? And inside this are the asci, right? So the structure is known as the ascus, right? Ascospores are found inside. Ascocarp and ascospores are found inside. So here what we see is either 4 or 8 ascospores are formed as a result of meiosis, right? So since these spores are formed inside the ascocarp, right? So they are known as endogenous, right? So the spores here is endogenous. Now, one thing very, worth mentioning here is that I must mention is that asexual reproduction takes place during favorable condition, but sexual reproduction takes place during unfavorable condition, right? So this is a kind of unfavorable condition, and when the spores get the favorable conditions, then they give rise to hypha and the mycelium, right? A very, very important example of this particular group is Neurospora crassa, right? Neurospora, Neurospora crassa. This is an example, and this is known as the Drosophila of plant kingdom. Neurospora crassa is used for genetic purpose, for experiments in genetics, right? So for genetic purpose, and it is also used in some biochemical reactions, right? So biochemical, we can say experiments that takes place, biochemical processes, biochemical processes. So all this particular group of fungi is used for experimental purpose, right? So in genetics and in biochemical processes, this is used. And since this is used as an experimental tool, that is why it is known as Drosophila of plant kingdom. Right? What is Drosophila? Drosophila is a fruit fly, right? Which belongs to the animal kingdom, and this Drosophila is also very important because Drosophila is also used for experimentation, right? So that is why this is known as Neurospora crassa is known as Drosophila of plant kingdom. So that is one very important uh, example belonging to Ascomycetes, right? So this, what do we say? Neurospora crassa is one question that is asked in the medicals also, right? So we discussed in Ascomycetes, they're called sac fungi. Why are they called sac fungi? Because in sexual reproduction, the fruiting body is ascocarp, and the sac-like structure inside this, the spores are produced. Ascospores are produced, so that is why they are known as sac fungi, right? We talked about the mycelium being septate, and we said that they are, besides being parasitic and saprophytic, they are coprophilous also. That means they're found on the dung also, the dung of cows and buffaloes, right? Asexually, they reproduce by conidiospores, right? Exogenous in origin, and sexually they reproduce by ascospores, endogenous in origin. And Neurospora crassa is one example which is used for experimental purpose. And then, of course, we talked about yeast being the unicellular sac fungi, right? So that's about Ascomycetes. And we move on now to the next kingdom, sorry, to the next group of kingdom fungi, which is Basidiomycetes. So the next one is Basidiomycetes. Right, so Basidiomycetes is the most advanced group of kingdom fungi. Right, so what do we know about this? Is this is the most advanced group of kingdom fungi, right? The most primitive was the Phycomycetes, and the most advanced is the is the Basidiomycetes. These are also known as club fungi, bracket fungi, etc. Right? Mushrooms are also found in this group, right? So mushrooms also belong to Basidiomycetes. So, right, the most advanced and the most commonly seen fungi, commonly seen means the fruitification. That means the fruiting body of this particular group of fungi is most common and most large and conspicuous. Conspicuous means quite visible. Nice. The fruitifications are, easily you can make out the shape and what is the design, right? So that is what is meant by most large and conspicuous, right? Many of the Basidiomycetes are edible fungi, like the mushrooms that we eat. Not all mushrooms are edible, but some are, right? So many of them are edible fungi. Then again, they are parasitic as well as saprophytic. So they are parasitic and saprophytic, right? I need not explain what is a parasite and what is a saprophyte, because in each class I have been explaining about the parasite and the saprophyte, right? The mycelium here is branched. Mycelium is septate, crosswalls, and branched. Right, so Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes have septate mycelium and the mycelium is branched. Right now, to this class, around 25,000 species, around 25,000 species are found in this particular group. That is why they are the most, they are the largest group of fungi, right? The most advanced and large number of fungi are found belonging to this particular group. And this group is known to be the best decomposers of wood, right? So they are best decomposers of wood. You must have studied about wood, that lignin is present, and of course the cell wall is made of cellulose, right? So this group of fungi, they have cellulose and lignin digesting enzymes present, right? So they digest the lignin and cellulose of the wood. Now when it digests the lignin, like if, for example, if I draw this as the wood, and if they digest the cellulose and lignin of the wood, then what happens? There are gaps produced over here. Right? When gaps are produced, then the hyphae and the mycelium can penetrate deep inside here. Right? When it penetrates deep inside, then you can see something to be growing outside the wood. And if you look at it, it seems as if this growth, this particular organism is coming from inside the wood. Right? So how has it reached inside the wood is because it has those lignin and cellulose digesting enzymes, because of which it has digested those things, and gap has been produced, and the mycelium and the hyphae, they move down, and so it seems that the mushroom is arising from inside the wood, right? So that's about them being very good decomposers of wood, right? So the motile structures or these motile cells are not found, and asexual reproduction is also not present in Basidiomycetes, right? Vegetative reproduction is of fragmentation, right? What is fragmentation? Where by some means, by mechanical injury or by decay, the structure is cut into or divided into small fragments, and each fragment can grow into a new fungus, right? So that's about asexual reproduction, which is not present, and then vegetative reproduction by fragmentation. And now we come to the sexual reproduction, right? So in sexual reproduction also what happens is, as such, they do not have any sex organs, right? Now, when we talk about sexual reproduction, let's talk about the human beings. What we get to see is that these sex cells, or what we call gametes, they are produced in the reproductive organs, right? And these cells are specifically the sex cells which are produced, gametes, which are produced only inside the sexual organs by a cell division which is known as meiosis. Whereas everywhere else in the body, the cells also divide, and the cells which divide are known as somatic cells, and the division is known as mitosis, right? So when we say somatic cells, now the division of the somatic cells leads to growth in the body. If a person gets an injury, that injury is healed by the division of the somatic cells. So here what happens, the kind of sexual reproduction that we are talking about in Basidiomycetes is through somatic cells, right? So through somatic cells, the reproduction takes place. And what are somatic cells? Cells other than the sex cells, right? So through somatic cells, which are cells other than the sex cells, right? So there are two different strains of the cells that come together. So we have discussed this earlier also. Two different strains of the cell when they come together. The plasma membrane, sorry, the protoplasm fuses, and the nucleus, they remain like this. Now this fusion of the protoplasm is known as plasmogamy, right? Plasmogamy. And this stage, the presence of two nucleus in this structure remains for some time, right? So this phase is known as the dikaryote phase, right? And then what happens? The nuclei also fuse, and this is known as karyogamy. So karyogamy takes place, right, which further leads to meiosis. Meiosis is the reduction division in which four daughter cells are formed, right? So again, as I told you, the sexual reproduction, it takes place during unfavorable conditions. Right? Asexual reproduction, I told you, in fungi takes place during favorable conditions, but sexual reproduction takes place during unfavorable condition. And of course, when the favorable conditions arise, then these spores they germinate to form mycelium. Right? So this cell that is formed is 2N, right? Formed in the basidium, and this undergoes meiosis, right? Now, these spores or the basidiospores are formed in the fruiting body, which is known as the basidiocarp, right? Basidiocarp, what does it look like? It is something like this, right? So this is the basidiocarp, the fruiting body, right? These pointed structures are known as steric matter, and above these are the basidiospores formed. So here these are the basidiospores that are formed. Basidiospores. Right? Now, if you look at it, this is a club-shaped structure of the basidiocarp. And since the spores are formed outside the fruiting body, so they are exogenous spores. Right? So that's about the basidiocarp. And very, very important thing about this group is that they are, they are parasitic also, and since they're parasitic, they cause a variety of diseases in the plants, right? So two main diseases that they cause in plant is, one is rust and the other is smut, right? These are the two diseases that they cause, and they cause Puccinia is one example of the fungus that causes rust, right? So the example here is Puccinia. This is the example, right? And what happens is it causes rust in those plants in which it causes rust. Pustules of rust-colored pustules, reddish colored pustules are formed on the plant, right? And that is why the name rust is given, right? Now these rusts that are formed on the plant, they contain spores, right? So Puccinia causes rust in plant. And the other disease is smut, which is caused by Osteolago. That is the name of the fungus, the group that causes smut. What is smut? Smut is black colored substance that is formed containing the spores, right? These are thick walled black colored spores that are formed on the plant, right? Which gives a powdery appearance, right? A blackish appearance to the plant. So these are the two main diseases that are caused by Basidiomycetes, rust and smut. And now we come to the last group of kingdom fungi, that is Deuteromycetes. Right? The last group is Deuteromycetes. These are known as fungi imperfecti or imperfect fungi. Right? They are not perfect fungi. Why are they called imperfect fungi? Is because the sexual reproduction phase is absent in this group of fungi. So they do not have a sexual phase present, right? So why are they called this? Because they do not have a sexual phase present. That is why they are called fungi imperfecti, right? Whereas vegetative and asexual reproductions are found. So all the fungi which do not have the sexual phase present are all grouped under this particular category. So around 17,000 species of Deuteromycetes are known till now, right? So all the other fungi, whatever characteristics it may be having, if they do not have the sexual phase present, then they are grouped under Deuteromycetes. Again, the mycelium is septate and branched. So the mycelium is septate and branched in Deuteromycetes. They are parasitic and they are also decomposers. They decompose litter. Litter is the rubbish or the garbage that is there, right? So they are also parasitic and they are good saprophytes. Saprophytes, they are decomposers of litter. Litter is the garbage, right? The example of this particular group is Alternaria. Alternaria is one example of fungus belonging to Deuteromycetes, right? So with this, we have completed kingdom fungi, and a quick recap. We talked about Phycomycetes called algal fungi. Then we talked about Ascomycetes. Okay, Phycomycetes had aseptate mycelium, right? And they were cenocytic. Then we talked about Ascomycetes, which are known as sac fungi. The fruiting body is a sac-like structure, right? And mycelium is septate. Asexual reproduction takes place through the formation of conidia, and sexual reproduction takes place through the formation of ascocarp, right? Then comes Basidiomycetes, which are the club fungi, and we discussed the structure of the club, and exogenous spores are produced in that. That is the sexual reproduction, and asexual reproduction is absent in this group of fungi. Vegetative reproduction takes place through fragmentation, and the last group is Deuteromycetes, which are fungi imperfecti, and they have a septate and branched mycelium. They are parasitic and they are decomposers of litter. And why are they grouped in this kingdom? Is because they do not have a sexual phase present, right? So with this, we completed the topic kingdom fungi. The next topic that we will do is kingdom plantae. And as you've been very nicely completing your assignments, again, questions are there. Do complete that and post it in the class WhatsApp group, in the biology WhatsApp group. Thank you.